I'm ready to start.
Are you ready? Because
Yeah,
we are starting.
Yeah.
We just started.
I gotta get
It
my
feels
furniture.
like we just got here though.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it's because we haven't seen each other in a while.
Yeah, that's
Been a
true
month.
as well. I was thinking about maybe restarting the podcast with a cold open.
I thought you were gonna say with other people.
Oh,
Yes,
I do a cold open.
I'm calling them the new Claire and the new Grady.
Wait, what's a cold open? What does that mean?
when I'm gonna read a piece.
A cold open is usually like a little bit before the credits roll. So most sitcoms these days have like a cold open before they hit the theme song. Like The Office did a lot of different cold opens. No?
I must know what it is. I just can't think of what it is.
Like Abbott Elementary. You watch that?
No.
Okay. Say the opening of like a thing is like, "Hey, what are you doing over here?" I don't know. What's that on your head? It's my new fur coat. And that's a beaver. Then the show starts.
Then the theme song will hit. So it's like one.
And that was
gag.
also a terrible example of what a cold open is.
Yeah. Well, the joke.
There wasn't
was,
a joke, it sucked.
Is it like the scene before live from New York at Saturday night?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
That's a cold open. That's a classic cold
Why
open.
is it called a cold open?
Because it just starts without any fanfare, without.
So
you
you're like
knowing what
left
the show is.
guessing what's this show? I don't know. I didn't
Yeah,
see the
yeah.
introduction.
Exactly,
Oh,
except
okay.
you know.
Wait, don't we always do a cold open here?
No, well, we do a cold open, but
It's-
we don't do it before the credits.
Got it.
before the
I
opening.
understand because when you when you do your podcast, you always start with the intro and then we get into it.
Right. So now if we
I
were gonna,
love
if we,
this idea.
if we were going to do a cold open,
Yeah.
now that we talked about cold opens, the theme would start now.
Wait, do you ever get disappointed when you're showing someone something for the first time and you really want them to get it? And
No,
they
not
don't?
at all. I think
Yes.
Oh.
Matt knew exactly where I was
Absolutely.
going with that question.
I'm clearly an Eeyore.
I'm probably Rue.
I'm a Christopher Robin with a poo rising.
And then I get in a canoe and I'm like, Claire's don't like canoes.
No, they don't.
I'm afraid of this lake.
That's exactly what it was.
Ow.
It was a beautiful moment in our friendship. I was
literally in the middle of getting hers up and down the
Pathetic.
stairs. Ow. I was like, I'm trying to get my hair done. I'm like,
I don't think that's an accurate representation of my owl.
well, you were in such pain you couldn't see clearly. So,
Trauma.
Thank you for listening to the Last Will podcast. I'm Matt Young. I'm a theater educator and a parent. And ever since I lost my father to cancer, I have been mildly obsessed with death. This is my last will and testament. Rumi once said, "In silence, there is eloquence. Stop weaving and see how the pattern improves." This week's episode is all about silence. We got the crew back together for our first episode of the year. I hope you enjoy it.
Dun 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 dun. dun.
There we go.
No, that's
Wait,
Hercules. Is
that
that
sounded, no, it
Hercules?
sounded like Superman.
No.
Dun, 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 dun. No, that's not.
No,
Superman.
Hercules. Star Wars.
No, that sounds like Star Wars, but it's Superman.
No, I'm talking about
I'm
the
doing a fucking mega mix.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You cut me off. I just got into Star Wars for
I didn't
you.
want to pay for the rights.
No,
No
you
one's
know,
charging anybody anything here.
do you remember
I
the
don't- I-
Hercules from like early 90s that was with
Kevin
Kevin
Sorbo?
Sorbo? That's the one.
Never
Dun, dun, dun,
watched
dun.
it.
It's also not. I'm also wrong again. Dun, 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 dun. What is that?
That's Superman.
Is it?
Yes.
It's just in your bones. You didn't even know it.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh no, that's Star
That's-
Wars. Oh my god, I can't figure this out now.
Wait, what? I don't know why I have to do this
What's
together.
happening?
What, are you playing the piccolo or the flute? Or no, that's the clarinet.
Oh, whoa. Do
Got
not.
something in there.
No.
You got some.
Okay, that's Lord of the
Oh my
Rings.
God.
You know how hard that is to find?
You are no, I don't.
Depends
Tell us.
on
it's
depends-
hard.
Depends on your mindset.
Try. Great, go.
Well, you just did it, so now I can do it.
Then do entrance to the call of the
The wild.
The
I don't know that
Minas Tirith Road.
Okay. You mean the Gondor theme song? The theme
Sure,
of Gondor.
to Minas, whatever.
Which is
People, you're going to love the topic for today after this. Let me tell you, you're going to love the topic.
Yeah, you are. Go ahead, Claire.
Minas
You know what's easy because I obviously
Claire,
can't do this.
I want to hear the entrance to Gondor. Sound the horn. Light the torch.
Minas Tirith goes. You guys should keep talking while I think of this.
She's thinking of it. What is the other than for Frodo? What is the other thing?
We bow to no one.
No, where was who when Gondor fell?
Where?
No,
Oh,
where-
that's Rohan.
Right.
That's easy.
Yeah, you found that one quick.
That one was already in there.
That's not.
That's the
I think
Rings
I'm in the
theme
right.
song.
I know what it is.
That's the actual Rings theme song. Sorry.
I'm sorry too.
Yeah, I know. We're getting so yelly at each other.
I can't think of what Gondor is. That's really bothering me because it's not like I don't know it.
No, you know it. It's in your bones.
Oh, I know.
Oh.
Dun 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 dun.
Boom, 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 boom,
Yep.
boom, boom, boom.
I just think of Denethor eating tomatoes, and then
It's getting a lot.
Bring me the food.
It's getting a lot of
That's so
attention
nasty.
these
I
days.
can't
People are
watch
doing
that scene.
so many like spoofs on the tomato these days.
yeah,
What?
This is what I love about I feel like Lord of the Rings really got a surge recently, and maybe it's just my Instagram feed because I'm seeing a lot of.
I don't know what this.
Well,
is.
they had the animated movie come out too, so that
Oh
happens.
right,
It's getting
I
a lot of
missed it.
love.
No, you
Fuck.
can stream it now.
Where?
You have to pay for it. Grady doesn't pay for anything.
Yeah.
You can buy it on iTunes.
That's an absolute.
Yeah, Grady
Oh,
actually
okay. Am I
doesn't pay for
wrong? What
anything.
was the last thing you paid for?
I'll pay for
other
that.
than a script.
I don't even think he paid for that. He just gets them.
What was the last movie you saw? What'd you pay for? Was it Deadpool and
Starving
Wolverine?
for Perfection, the Karen Carpenter story, and the Judy Sill documentary.
That
You
was
paid
like
for
2
them?
years
Dick.
ago.
Yes. Rented one and bought
Wait,
the other.
Haven't you
Take
guys
that.
seen a movie together? Didn't you guys see a movie
yeah,
together?
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
We did.
Okay.
And we also went to see.
But I paid. It was a date.
Oh, okay.
I paid.
I don't think you did.
I did pay, and you thanked me.
No
I said.
way.
I said this. I'm paying for that. I said I'm not doing.
The
I didn't
popcorn,
pay for-
maybe. I paid for the
you-
tickets. You paid for the popcorn. We split
I
it.
didn't. I didn't know.
We
I
split it.
No,
I
it's
paid.
not-
partnership, my
That's
friend.
not splitting it. The popcorn's always more expensive than the tickets.
Well, I don't care. I don't eat the popcorn, so I didn't pay for the popcorn.
No,
I
you
told him I
paid
paid
for
for his
it's
ticket.
slushy.
I get an icy.
I'm sorry.
You get an icy?
Once
a year.
Oh my god, I
not
love
once
those.
a
Like
year.
a Coke. I only have one once a year.
No, it's not
I
true.
can't eat those.
I had two because I
cookie.
went. No, that's not true. I'm very careful.
What
Dude,
did we see on my birthday?
we saw like Welcome to My Fucking Weird World.
Oh yeah, the Emma Stone
yeah.
sex movie.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Which she has
Thanks.
sex
That's
all
great.
the time.
Right.
Poor Things?
Yeah. Yeah.
Poor
right.
Things.
I couldn't watch that.
Oh, we loved it.
I couldn't.
It was. I'm
great.
glad we saw it in the theater.
Aesthetically, it was amazing to see the sets, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Claire loved it in a different way.
couldn't get
favorite
through the
film.
first 5 minutes.
Claire doesn't do horror lore.
Actually, I can do horror lore, but you know what? You know why I couldn't watch it? Because I started to watch it and I was like, I want to play that part, and I want to play that part now, and I can't watch this because I couldn't watch her play the part that I should be playing. I just thought it was weird, and I was like, that's me. That's what I like to do.
So then you don't watch it, I guess.
Yeah. I would have liked to see somebody unfamous doing that part.
This is gonna sound weird, but I could see you doing that part. Obviously, not the naked sex stuff, but the
Oh,
the,
right.
the,
I didn't even get there, so I don't even know what that's about.
Oh,
like,
everything's out. All your
the innocence of figuring your way like through childhood into teenager into like adulthood, like all of that stuff. I could see you doing.
Who's the awful husband?
But yeah, there's a lot. Of
Yeah, no,
naked
I'm
sex
not-
in
Who's the awful husband?
No, it's the abusive father, Willem Dafoe.
But the awful husband she has to marry, and he's like, and she finally she's just done with him. Once she figures herself out, he wants her money. Oh, it's Billy. No, it's the Hulk.
Oh yeah. It's. I was gonna say it's Bruce Banner. No, it's
Bruce Banner. Sorry, Mark Ruffalo. We do
Yeah, we
appreciate you as an
apologize.
actor. It's Bruce Banner, the Hulk. You know that guy. He's done some stuff.
Yes. He was kind of the weakest link in there, though.
Oh, totally.
It was a little. It
It's a
didn't
good
work
role
as
for
well.
him.
I really thought, if we're going to analyze this film and not even get into our topic yet, I really thought Willem Dafoe had to have been Frankenstein's monster. Like, he settled into society. Like, he didn't burn at the end of Frankenstein because he was all put together like she was put together.
He figured it out.
You didn't see past the first 5 minutes, so you didn't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's okay. Not again.
Anyways, my point was, he had an icy then,
Yeah.
and then
It's like in Titanic too.
so that's 2 in a year.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up the receipt for that Deadpool Wolverine thing. I'm gonna look up right now.
Well, I haven't turned a year older, so it's still in the
Tim-
calendar year.
Tim bought the tickets for the other movie
Did
for
he?
all of us. Yes, he did. See,
So if I go see a movie with Grady, which it sounds like I will never
probably
do that, will I get swindled
Well,
into paying for everything?
I think so.
No.
Yeah. No, I bought the tickets because I do it on my phone. I don't buy tickets
And
at
I
the
bought
theater
the
anymore.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah, because going to the movies isn't what it used to be. You can't just show up and sit wherever you want. You have to fucking buy
I
your
love that
seats
so
in
much
advance.
more, though. No,
What?
you don't have to buy them in advance, but like I like the fact that you get to choose your seat,
Oh, I
and you
always
don't
buy
have
them in
you don't have to.
advance.
Sit, you're gonna have to sit there anyways for 30 minutes of previews,
yeah, that's true.
but
I like not
you don't have to
knowing
get
where
there
I'm gonna
40,
sit.
45 minutes beforehand.
At
No.
least like
I don't like not knowing where I'm gonna sit. That's not fun.
I just like choosing where I'm going to sit so I don't have to sit next to somebody else.
Well, then that's what you do. You see where other people have bought seats, and then you put a seat in between them, and no one's going to buy that individual seat
No,
unless, of
because the
course,
last
it's
couple
wicked.
times
That's
I
true.
bought
I'll buy-
tickets,
I'll buy a double
I'll
seat.
buy seats with no one else near me,
No,
and
so you
then
can't do that.
You do an end seat and buy one next to you, and then you're good.
so I buy 2 tickets
Yeah,
so that I have
absolutely.
a space in
You
between.
want insurance? Buy the 2 tickets.
that's
If you don't take a
I mean,
waste
crapshoot,
of
it
money.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it does.
Financially, it doesn't.
sure
make
it
sense.
does.
You're paying for the piece.
You're paying for your piece.
Okay,
yes.
well, some of us can't afford to just like buy space in the world.
Well, since I own 4 or 5 theaters, I'll let you know when you can just show up.
Well, if you own 4 or 5 theaters, you should just.
That's why
give
he
her a
doesn't pay
pass.
for tickets.
Why do you pay for the popcorn though?
Because
too?
the passes are for employees. I don't want to get into this. It's
Okay,
in the, it's in the handbook.
right. You've already
It's
explained
in
it to
the
us
handbook.
before.
I've told you before. It's in the handbook.
I am dyslexic. I don't read the handbook.
Doesn't read the full sentence.
It's okay. It's on audio.
my
it's
God,
on
that
audio
made me
as well.
laugh the
It's
other
read by
day.
Judy Stench. We couldn't get the real Judy, so
Okay, I'm really tortured by the scone here. Where's this scone from?
It's from the Fresh Market.
Fresh Market
Is it
does it
gluten free
right.
by any chance?
I don't think so.
yeah, probably not.
It's pretty sugar free though because it doesn't have sweetness to it.
The Fresh Market's
Really?
wonderful. You should
Yeah,
have
yeah,
a
yeah.
bite.
No, I know where it is. It's
Okay, okay.
I cut it into
okay.
slices so that you don't feel like you.
And
have
it's
to have
expensive,
the whole
so those are really nice. So Matt put his foot in that.
See, not. Yeah, it's real scony and not like cake scony. Cake
like-
scony
I don't
is
like
like
hitting the spot without tasting like it's a sugary,
yes.
bad.
I
Whatever.
figured I would travel on that line to see if that would work. You got something on you. Extra crumbs. Didn't hit the ground, so it doesn't matter. Hi everybody.
Hi.
This is like 13 minutes in, but we did a cold open, so that was new, right?
Mhm, yeah.
Welcome to the Last Will podcast. The gang is back together. It's a new year. We're excited to talk to you, and we have a really interesting topic that I'm not sure where it will go, but I think that you will all appreciate after our yammering for 13 minutes, and that is the topic of silence. No, it didn't. Podcast didn't cut out. That's I
I was
guess.
trying to
our-
make Claire laugh, which I can do. I just needed another second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I cut in
Yeah,
your bit?
you did.
I'm really good at meditating, so
Nah, I got
was
you.
gonna.
I got you.
No, I was fully.
I can
into
make
that
you
moment.
fart with my mind.
Really?
Yeah, it probably
Do
wouldn't
you
take
have
a
mind
lot.
farting abilities?
Here we go. We're talking about it again.
Fuck. I'm so sorry. I don't. Sorry.
All right, so let's get into it then. Let's go into the definition of silence.
Silent but deadly.
The BI.
Oh, I didn't even realize it. That probably will be a topic.
No,
The silent but
God,
deadly.
Fuck.
Can't avoid it. Silence can be defined as the absence of sound or noise. It often refers to a state where no audible sound are present, allowing for a peaceful or contemplative environment. Silence can also have psychological or emotional implications, serving as a space for reflection, meditation, or communication without words. In different contexts, such as music, silence may also refer to intentional pauses or breaks that contribute to the overall composition.
I love that.
Right?
I just don't think of that sometimes.
It made me think right out of the gate. I did a production of Romeo and Juliet, where we used Mumford & Sons' The Cave as the dance in which Romeo and Juliet met at the Capulets party and stuff like that. And there's this beautiful moment of silence 3/4 of the way through the song. And I just always in my mind had seen that's where they meet up. Like that's where they pull their masks off, they make eye contact, and then the minute the music starts back in, then the dance continues to go and they have to separate and try to find themselves back. This
It's almost like you're using a camera lens to
yes,
zoom
but
in and out.
but using the silence
back,
as the
Yeah.
tool.
Pretty cool.
And of course, and
That's
anybody who listened to last week's podcast knows that the incredible Kelly Naden did the choreography for it. And I think it is the best bit of choreography storytelling that I've really ever been a part of.
Ooh.
So much that when we did Mary Potter and the Race to Nowhere, we used that same dance with my Brewster kids to show the meeting between Mary and Voldemort, which was the romantic thing that went in the center of that story. Anyways, but silence in music became very powerful, and it sticks with me. And I think everybody who was a part of that production, it kind of sticks with them too. But it can be used really, really well
Yes, it
in
can.
performance. I like to use silence.
I love it.
Like when we thought about this, I like to use it comically. I like to hold my partners on stage and a really long, extended, silent pause, almost to the point where they break. I just love to do it. Whenever I can find an opportunity, I do it. I love being in that silence.
You do.
So performing silence is really, really interesting. I also love it in improvisation because people don't usually have, courage isn't the right word, but people don't usually have the self-control to not try to fill a scene with
Thank you.
just yapping.
Well, they're not listening.
Silence.
No,
is,
they're not, which makes for really bad
silence is
improv.
scary for people.
But if you have an improv scene and you're just sitting in the silence, it can be very, very powerful.
I wish when we had done Joyful Noise, I had not come out there and started so quickly, even though I had to get you out there with my line. But once I'd said that, I wish we had sat and just had breakfast together for a bit and gone through papers and then started.
Yeah.
It would have been, it was a good scene. It would have been even better.
You know,
Because
and
we would have had moments of no, and or, whatever. No,
Yeah, no,
stop
no,
that.
we
But
could
I'm
actually
in that.
we could do a whole play that's just you guys having breakfast as Handel and Handel's assistant.
Smith.
I'm never putting that costume on
Mr.
again.
Smith. What are you talking about? Your costume was so much better than mine. You didn't like your wig.
Well, no, but if I think like as we talk about this
I love
specifically,
silence on stage so
I think
much.
about the times that I've done shows, in the last couple years, and there's always so much. I mean, we do community theater, so like we strive for something great, but it's never perfect,
Right.
And when you're the week leading up to the show, the director's always timing it, and he's always putting the pressure like on the actors to be like, okay guys, we got to speed up the scene, we got to make it go, we got to work, we got to move through it. So you don't like get
I don't like that
you
way of
don't
working.
get these moments.
I
You
don't
don't
like that
get
way
to
of-
use
I don't
the
like
silence.
that way of working. That's pushy.
So, we didn't really get a chance to have you guys work that scene like with such creative silence.
But there was so much physical business which got in the way of it. But when I think about it now, I wish we could have just sat for a second, and I could have driven it that way. But I guess
I don't think it occurred to us at that point.
It didn't.
And I
It
think
didn't.
you were a little overwhelmed with the amount of props that you had.
Once I
to-
got it down, though, now that I'm thinking about it, I was like, oh, I could easily have done that, and that would have been really fun.
Yeah.
And it could have set up Honda a little bit better too.
Look, as a director, I understand the need for pace. You know, sometimes we get in the way and we try to do too much acting,
Right.
and so we're not moving forward. I in my last couple of experiences, I know there were plenty of times where I'm like, let's go. Stop pausing, stop acting. You know,
Yeah.
if you have a beautiful pace going through and you are efficient, and it doesn't mean that you're rushing, then you have earned the right to take pauses, right? And then those pauses can be very, very important and impactful, and they're there, but it always has to be earned. And so I try to say that out of the gate. Like, I break my scenes down into beats, saying that the beats are the only time that you should be taking pauses. And too many times the actors aren't paying attention to that work, or even some of them aren't like writing it down. And it's like you have to push towards that point, and then you can breathe, because there's a shift in the scene, and then the scene has shape to it, you know. And without that stuff, the scenes sometimes just meander. And we've all been in the audience watching a local theater production meander this way, meander that way. So it has to be purposeful. You know, you have to earn your pauses. You have to move. You have to keep going. But I also understand that in process we sometimes take time. I got a note from the stage manager when we were in Puffs, like, you got to pick up the pace. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand process. Like, I'm highly aware of I have to pick up pace. But there are 8 other people in the show that are fucking dragging ass, you know? So catch up space there, because I'm trying to do some work here. I'm trying to figure some stuff out.
Because you were the only one that was actually taking the time to work with your space, and everybody else was...
Not everybody, but yeah.
And other people were just dragging. So you were
Yeah.
actually trying to work, and everybody else was just like...
Yes. In the end, in the end, I know that myself and Sally Rose and Tim pushed the pace of that play so that other people could really like meander and take their time. And so there's a little like bitterness in terms of that, because like we kept going
Mm-hmm.
and like
sure
pushed
did.
it, and
You
pushed
sure
it, and
did.
pushed it so that other people could meander. And I don't know, maybe it's a
Yeah,
processing
there didn't
issue or
seem to be
something.
anybody else who
I'm
was
glad
pushing
I took
the
all
pace
the
of that
time
play.
that I did. I just took so much time narrating.
His accent changed.
I wish
Well,
I had. I wish a motherfucker would. I wish I had just sat up there and just read and talked when I wanted to. I could have made that motherfucker 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Wow, that was not silent.
It was not, but it was a powerful statement to the end of that
Okay,
sentence.
so I just want to
really
say,
I
sorry.
wonder that you pointed it at me.
I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
People, I don't know if you could hear it, but that was
they
a pretty
could.
loud.
They could. No, it wasn't. It was
No,
nothing.
it was an earthquake
No, it's just like
from your bottom.
just rumbling.
so there was a in the new adaptation of the Wicked story,
Yes.
which
The movie.
the movie, which I'm really I love so much, and
She's wearing
my life
Elphaba
has just
glasses.
become I didn't know I was gonna love the movie so much when I went to see it. So
Is there a moment of silence in it?
there is a moment of silence. It's very, very brief, but it's new. So for those of us who've been listening to the soundtrack of the musical for 20 years, we're so used to it being. We're used to the end song, Defying Gravity, the end song of Act 2, to sound a certain
1.
way. Thank you, Act 1. So in the movie, there's a brief moment of silence before she has her final war cry note at the end.
It felt like a war cry too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they call it, actually. And right before that is silence. And like as the viewer and as like the fan, and you're like your heart's racing, and you're like, what's gonna, she like, not only is there silence in the song, but like something's happening in the film at the same time. Like the camera has gone from like this person's face to this person's face to that person's face.
Yeah.
And then she sings it.
Yeah.
And that brief moment of silence is like, it just leaves you on tenterhooks. Like, it just leaves your skin crawling in the best way.
Yeah. You are leaning in.
And I love, like, I mean, I was all about this AI definition of silence and all the typical ways that we think about silence, what that means. And then you got into the music bit. And I just thought about how in music, there are these beats and there are these moments in songs that have such brief moments of silence that then actually attribute to the whole beauty of the piece as a whole.
It honestly is like negative space in a painting.
Yes.
You know, it's should not be underappreciated. It's such a huge part of what can make art. I mean, I'm glad that we started off with the idea of silence in art before anything else. I know for myself, I go back to Stupid Puffs. We have this moment where we're watching the second task of year 4.
Oh yeah.
Right? And we're just looking at the top of the water because all of the action in the movie is happening below the surface. Right. And so what would it be like for everybody who's up on the surface cheering?
Yeah.
And I definitely, I got a note that was like, you got to pick that up. And I was like, I will never pick that up. I was like, you just have to trust the fact that I know exactly what kind of silence is needed. And if the audience isn't with us, then I'll jump in. But like the longer we go, the funnier it is. And the minute we got an audience and I showed them what it was supposed to be, they're like, yeah, you were right. So credit to them for admitting that they were wrong. But like silence can be an incredibly powerful tool for comedy and for drama.
Very powerful.
Now, Grady, why did you suggest this topic?
I don't know.
Well, thank you for listening to the Last Will podcast. Please rate, review, and subscribe.
I don't know. They off the top of my head, they were listed in less than 30 seconds.
Really?
Yep.
You thought of that in like 30 seconds?
Less than 30
Sometimes
seconds.
it takes me
I
so
typed
long to
those
think
out
of a topic.
immediately. I just typed them out immediately.
Actually, I don't think I've ever.
I don't even know what I wrote. I remember silence, and I wrote a couple.
Did you
of
write
things.
like a big? Was it a sentence, and I just pulled out the word silence from it?
No, it was the word silence.
Just silence. Mm-hmm. I think it's definitely underrated. You know, when I think about improv,
So
it can be very, very powerful. But in, I guess in life too,
Yes.
people are very uncomfortable with silences. And so it brings out a certain vulnerability because we feel like we have to fill certain things. But I think we've all experienced what communicating without words, how powerful that can be with someone you're feeling connected to.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm in the midst of this new connection, and one of the things that I'm really like enjoying is the fact that we have shared unspoken silences, and that can be like, it's really like powerful and attractive and alluring and all of that. It's not something that I don't have that panic inside me. It's like, oh, I gotta continue talking.
Got to say something.
Yeah.
Well, that's really important.
Comfort. It
I
comes
think
with comfort too.
Yeah, I think that's really important to be comfortable in silence with somebody, because I've certainly been around people that I'm uncomfortable in that silence, and I'm like, I don't think this is a good match,
Right.
because I feel like, well, I mean, also
It's a clear indicator to you
as
that
an empath, sometimes you can just feel what's happening in another person, and then you're like, that doesn't seem settling. But if you are comfortable, if you feel comfortable with that other person's silence because you think that things are copacetic in the energy field.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that part of it? Like, you're not doing like extra work. You're not in your head wondering what the other, like trying to mind read what the other person is, and then assuming some sort of negative thing, and then you're spiraling based upon that kind of crap. I don't know. He's drawing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stimming.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's yes, this helps control my. It helps keep me level. I doodle a lot.
Doodling is good.
Keeps my mind.
His doodles are so much
Focused.
nicer than my doodles.
It's a calligraphy pen.
Yeah, I think he's got better pens than you too.
Oh,
You know.
I just
Also,
run out of ideas of what to doodle.
silence is powerful too, and with action. You know, some people say you're dating somebody new, be silent. Keep it silent. Keep that to yourself. If you're learning a new skill, be silent about it. Don't talk about it. You're writing a new work, maybe as an artist, don't talk about what you're working about.
Like, don't share.
Don't share it. Be silent about it. But people want to share everything and then wonder why people want to tear everything down. And like, if you're going to share something with somebody, be prepared for them to go, well, that won't work. That can't happen. Think about it like this.
But like ultimately though, isn't that like on the person who isn't that faulting like the person who needs to tear something down? More
Well,
than
it
like,
is, but you opened
sharing?
the door by sharing, so you should have kept your mouth
I don't
shut.
know, that feels like blaming the victim though a little bit, right?
Um,
Like you shared, so
If
now
you-
you are under my scrutiny. Doesn't feel like the right.
I guess
It's
you
not-
have to be prepared for other people's opinions.
that's what I mean. If you don't want the opinion, don't ask for it.
Yeah. Is that silence or is that privacy?
It's privacy, but silence, I think, and privacy are very much linked.
Interesting.
How private is too private? I don't know. I don't know if there's a right
Oh.
answer to that.
Okay, so me and
Just want to move the silence topic out of the actual.
So it's not like audible silence. It's
It's silence and
Emotional
action.
silence.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Sometimes sometimes you got to be.
this is why we hired Grady.
Sometimes silence is very necessary, and even relationship silence is oftentimes necessary, and people don't know when to be quiet.
Yeah.
Be quiet. Stop responding. Be quiet.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Let-
ultimately, I'm going to skip over, I guess, what I was just going to talk about, but like the idea of listening can be very powerful. And when someone is confessing or unburdening themselves with something that they're struggling with, that if you care for that person, the first instinct is to try to fix and solve their problem. But in staying silent and just listening and hearing that person, maybe that, and I've probably found more times than not, is a much more powerful support for that person
It is.
than coming up with a ton of solutions and stuff like
I
that.
think people have a hard time talking to themselves and keeping their own company. So you can't keep your own company. You can't talk to yourself. Then therefore you won't keep your own counsel. So you'll just take whatever everyone is saying and put it in a pot and make a casserole. Then that's your answer.
For sure.
But
Like
if you're quiet and just listen, right? If I'm listening, if you're just listening to me and I'm talking to you, then I'm able to talk it out. And by the time I'm done talking, I probably have figured out where I need to go just by you sitting there and having a human experience. I guess what I'm trying to say is a lot of people don't know how to be with themselves, by themselves, and have conversations with themselves and work things out. They need someone just to listen, so that
that's how they talk to
they
themselves
therefore
through
can,
somebody else.
right? So then therefore they can keep their own counsel, and I think we don't keep our own counsel enough. We absolutely don't. And the only way you'll keep your own counsel is in silence. That's when the answers they come. It's really rare.
No, but I also think like what you're saying though is legitimate. Like sometimes we need to say it like in the opposite of that.
yeah.
We need to say it out loud, and we need our friend, our listener to be silent so that we can work out
Yeah.
what it is by saying it out loud. We're hearing it in a different way
Right.
than we would in our head, or we're not letting our judge destroy whatever it is.
Because oftentimes people are like, I don't talk to myself at home. You should talk out loud at home. Hear it.
Well, that's true too.
But some people don't feel comfortable with that. So to be able to talk to somebody else and just have them listen with no opinion, no judgment.
So interesting that silence is our topic, and we're also talking about putting voice to silence,
Right.
in some ways.
It's a very complicated thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well-
Certainly more complicated than I thought.
Because there are things that like we do talk to ourselves in our head. Like there are messages that come to us from ourselves or something, or
Yes.
I don't know what that is. If
That's your soul. It's your intuition.
and it comes in as words. Like there are words
Absolutely.
in our head.
But you only can hear them if you're quiet.
Exactly.
I was in the bath the other day and I had one of these moments. I call it harmonic convergence. I don't know what it is. I'm sure yogis would call it all your chakras aligning, and it's so rare. It's so cool when you can literally almost feel it in a linear way, every emotion on the spectrum at once. I had tears like coming out of my eyes, but I was laughing. Nothing's audible, but it's just all happening at once. And it's so peaceful and rare. It's so cool.
Sounds like a real convergence.
It's so cool. And everything lines up and you're like, God, I feel sad. I feel happy. I feel elated. I feel scared. You feel everything at once. It is the coolest feeling. It's rare. But
feel
every
like
now
that.
every now and then it pops up.
I feel like that when I take a decongestant.
It pops up.
It's I feel it all.
Claire takes Sudafed to feel it all when she's feeling nothing.
Grady meditates in the bath, but Claire takes a Claritin.
Oh, I'm just having a horrible day. Here, have a Claritin. Get it? The word.
I think
it's
you've
in
got,
the
you've
word.
got a real solid ad campaign for Claritin now.
But I find that on stage. So in silence on stage, having that harmonic convergence is like nothing else. You almost lift off. You go out of your body.
Oh, I don't know that I've ever.
And
felt
I don't
that.
know. I don't know how to explain what that. I can't explain with my words or my actions what that feels like. But it's crazy.
I
It's
think-
crazy when you lift out of yourself and you're watching yourself on stage, and I'm like, wow, I'm completely not here. Grady is not controlling.
Are
this.
you
Yeah, I
can
don't think
you
I've ever-
prepare for a moment like that, or
You
did they just
can.
happen? But did they happen? Like, can you
Yes, I probably.
Can you make
could.
that
I
happen?
probably could, but I'm
or
not.
does it happen like by surprise?
I think you have to. I'm going to guess you have to do all of your preparation for your work, and be ready and open to it. But
Yeah.
you can't predict that it's going to happen. If
No.
you haven't done your preparation, there's no way that you're going to disassociate from your body and have
no.
the Grady on stage
No.
being autopilot. I can't
No,
imagine.
it's auto. But yeah, but I don't want to use autopilot as the word because.
No,
but
I'm not saying it.
And I know you, and I know that's not what you mean, but there is something that's auto about it. But I trust that navigation system, whatever that is, that I can go. This is just happening.
Yeah. Well, like
And
it's-
I'm being as honest as I can possibly be as a
Right.
human on stage, and there's just it's just undeniable. So
well, it's like what
whether
you,
it's good or bad, I don't care. I don't no judgment with that. But
But it's
just
like what you
feels-
said about the podcast though before. Like you won't remember things. Like if you listen back to an
No,
episode,
I don't know anything
It
I've
feels
said.
very new to you
Yeah.
because you don't remember
No,
these things.
I don't.
You're like in a flow or like you call a harmony
yeah,
state.
yeah,
And I think that's what you're referring to on stage.
yeah.
I'm way too like present in the moment on stage, not in a better way, but like I'm just there for me to ever have experienced really being an observer, really pulling myself out and seeing the whole thing. I'm always just through my eyes.
But isn't that
On
great? But
stage.
isn't that great then? Because then we have, let's say we're both on stage together, and we're getting to the same place. So I don't care how you pack your
Yeah,
suit,
no,
you
it's
pack
just-
mine, but I
yeah,
mean
yeah.
it's really nice, and that's great because then you're getting two different energy flows coming together that make something really special.
Right.
Because you just can't have 9 of me and 9 of you, or even 2 or 2. I mean, 2 of us is enough.
Nine?
Not even
Oh
adding
my
you.
God.
Okay, Jesus, Claire. Well,
Sorry.
you're in there too. There's 10 of you.
There's too many of me. Anyway,
If ever we're on stage
Ever
and
again.
this is happening, and I start to look up to the sky to do the scene with you, then
I
something
wave.
freaky is happening.
Would that be cool?
You know,
if you looked up there.
if
I
I
am.
saw you disappear from yourself and go into the ether.
I'll just have the script with me and go.
I only had one experience like that, and it probably wasn't. It's never happened again, so it was probably some
Claritin experience that you
out
had.
of body. No, I was really little. Like really little. I don't even know if I was 5. I must have been. I think I was younger than 5, and I jumped at the top. I was at the top of the stairs, and I jumped to go to the bottom of the stairs, just to see what would happen.
You knocked yourself out?
I don't know.
Claire, you died.
I might have died.
Yeah, you died and came back.
Well, actually, no. I was rescued by my mother. She did one of those things where she flew from across the room to catch me.
yeah.
So, but I do remember.
I picture you falling into a net of wires.
Oh my God.
It's a tangle
Like
there.
a fisherman's, you will fish. Whatever
I mean, I don't know like how my mom, how that happens, you know, like how does
That messed her up for a while. I bet.
probably, I mean, and she probably, if I asked her about it
Still.
today, she probably wouldn't remember it.
Oh,
but-
I don't know about that.
Or no, it might have been so hard for her that she probably was just
Blacked
like
it out.
maybe blacked it out. But I do
A lot of things are getting blocked out these days.
I remember I don't remember like being in the moment of that jump. I do remember blacking out, but I was watching myself tumble through the air as a cartoon character. Like if I was at one moment at the top of the stairs and then I jumped, all of a sudden I was in the living room watching cartoon Claire tumble through the air. And that's it. And it's been 30 something years since then, and I have a still completely
I don't know why that's funny.
lucid memory of this.
I don't want to think of the Great Seraph.
Was it Juliana? Did she do it and you just watched her? Is that
I'm
possible?
pretty sure it was me, because how else could it be my memory?
You sounded
well, no, because you, as an observer.
No, it was definitely me, because I also remember standing.
It's been 30-something years. It's been 30-something years, and I'll never forget that.
But I remember being at the top of the stairs,
years.
and then I remember later being like, I shouldn't do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lesson learned.
When you're talking to someone and it's very intense, do you ever have tunnel vision when you're silent and they're talking?
Yes.
And you're here, and all of a sudden they feel like they're 8 feet away from you, because the emotions are so intense. It creates this magnetic vacuum, and you can't get out of it.
Sometimes when I'm playing a character in a catatonic stage, and I'm just staring at a chair while somebody's doing a 3.5-page monologue next to me, sometimes I get that tunnel vision, and then I can't recover and walk upstairs in the darkness.
Claire, you go grab a Claritin.
I was just going to say I get like that when I'm super bored with somebody else.
That was the end of Judas Iscariot for me.
Oh my God. I'm like, what are you
I
talking
can't
about?
move. I'm in a catatonic stage. I'm just staring. And there's a monologue happening.
Yeah, there
You
is.
keep saying catatonic stage.
I'm catatonic.
Stage.
Do you mean state? Oh my God.
He's in stage 4 of being catatonic.
Yeah, no, that was really intense. Matt's
Catakinesis.
performance. No, and I get
Catakinesis.
super bored with people. Like so many.
You get tunnel vision with them?
Awful things happen. I just
Never
I
at work though. Never with clients.
never with customers.
Right. Of course not.
Please tell me so much more about.
What do you need silence for?
Oh, I need silence. It's
Do
not.
you need silence to read?
I do.
Yes, I do.
Cannot.
Thank you.
I would love music in the background. I would love other noise.
But you also,
can't
but
do
your
it.
audio, like you get more from an audiobook. See, I can't do audio. Audiobooks I get spaced out. Like I tried to listen to an audiobook at the gym the other day, and I couldn't pay attention to it because I was too stimulated by what I was seeing.
Yeah.
And I couldn't pay attention to what I was hearing.
Sometimes that happens to me, and I just have to go back. Like if I realize I haven't really been paying attention.
I don't like. I mean, even when I've been driving and I'm doing an audiobook, I get nervous that I'm not paying attention to the road, because it's either like my focus is on. I can't split focus.
Yeah,
it's one or the other. But anyway, I personally need silence when reading, because I also like to have a book. I do like to read the book. I read the words in front of me.
And it gets distracting if there's noise. Yeah, I can't do actual reading and hear other noise. I also like, if there's too much noise in a room, I can't really focus on anything. You know, I found that in my old age. If there's noise here and there's noise there,
Tell me about
I can't do whatever I'm supposed to be doing at the time. So I like that. I definitely like that silence. I don't like silence to sleep though. I like noise.
What kind of noise?
Could be an audiobook, could be the television.
Oh, okay. You don't need like white noise?
No. Rain, I'll take. Take good rain.
Frogs.
Pitter patter on the
old
air
tin roof?
conditioning. Yeah, on the old tin roof. Yeah. That's a beautiful sound to me. What do you need silence for, Grady?
Mainly to recharge.
Like we plug you into, like you're a Tesla.
I think most.
We have to plug you.
I think most people on the spectrum need a lot of extra time.
Well,
of
Grady
silence
was
to
a great
recharge.
reference for me when I was getting Bose noise canceling headphones for my dad this Christmas.
Do you like them?
Oh my God, he loves them.
They're awesome, right?
So,
And
but
they're cushy.
but I knew that Grady would have the best recommendations, because he
Yeah.
has specific audio needs.
I learned a long time ago that I'm not going to be given the silence that I need.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got to provide that for myself. Not a problem. Knowing is good.
I also things that are too loud, like we do our shows at school, and the dance department wants their music.
Blow the speakers out.
Yeah, they want to blow the speakers out with the volume that they're going at, and it's just way too loud. Although I was at the museum yesterday, experiencing a very kind of loud
Isn't that
exhibit,
interesting? But
and
that's
you came into
different.
my mind. I was like, Grady would not be happy here.
But I'd have my headphones on.
But I like immediately didn't think of that.
You're
Like it wasn't
sweet,
until
man.
later I was
Thank
like, oh,
you.
he would definitely have his tinted glasses. And
I don't
have to
go
have
anywhere
his,
without those. Yeah, even the aquarium the other day. No.
Yeah, you don't want to hear the
Well,
animals
when
screaming.
you go into
I'm
the
in
ant,
captivity. Let me go.
when you go into the annex and
Yeah.
it's all that open space, it's all marble. It's so loud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
marble bounces sound.
Marble does bounce sound.
All right, we want to hear some myths about silence. Yeah? No? Thanks. Okay.
Where's
Matt, just go ahead
being
with
silent?
what you.
You've got a
Just fill,
book over
just
there.
fill the space, Matt.
I'm
Fill the-
silence is always peaceful. I mean, I
Oh.
think in art you can use silence to be very, very scary.
Silence
peaceful
is
in the
definitely
ocean.
No, there's no. That is an absolute that does not exist. Silence is not always peaceful.
Calm before the storm.
Yeah,
The eye of the storm
you-
is
if
not
you know how to.
it can be unsettling.
If you're in a state of fear or sadness or grief or anger, silence is oftentimes very, very difficult.
I talk to my students about because they love horror movies. I think I've brought this up about what makes a good jump scare. You know, one of the things that we talk about is silence.
Silence.
It's manipulating silence so that you are drawing people in. It could be very, very scary. It could be eerie. Silence means agreement. Many assume that silence indicates consent or agreement.
I don't know about that one.
I don't.
I think AI
I-
tripped a little bit on that one.
Yeah.
No.
Glitched.
Well, maybe there is an agreement, but it's with yourself. So you've made an agreement with yourself.
Sometimes
I can
people,
see that, but
if you, it has come up very recently that silence is I don't know if this is the right word, but silence is like consent. Like if you're not protesting against awful things happening, you're staying silent about it.
Oh, that's what that means.
That you are,
complicit.
yeah, complicit, not consent, but complicit.
Yeah, that exists.
Or not. I don't know. That's a confusing one.
Okay. Silence is only the absence of sound.
That's
No.
just AI.
Silence can be more than just the lack of noise. It can represent a specific state of mind, emotional
Absolutely.
process,
Yes.
and a form of
Yes.
communication.
Yes.
People who are silent have nothing to say.
That's a
No.
horrible thing.
To think about, right? Like that. Yeah.
I often
Oftentimes, people
They-
that are silent have way more to say than because they listen.
yeah.
Well, and if you
And
go
they're
back
wait-
to silence is agreement, like if somebody says something that I don't agree with,
You will stay silent.
I might stay silent.
'Cause
Yeah.
I'm
And-
like, I'm not
and I-
arguing with it.
And sometimes I have to I call it pausing,
Yeah.
which just makes sense, before I reply.
But sometimes
And sometimes
just-
I'm on the phone
you
with
gotta tell
people
yourself, shut
and
the
I'm
fuck up.
silent.
Shut the
And they're
fuck
like,
up.
"Are you there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just thinking
Processing.
about what the fuck to say now."
Yeah,
Somebody's
yeah.
like, "Oh, I loved this movie," and you're like, "I hated it." I'm not going to shit on your fucking movie and tell you how awful it is. That's not fun. So I'll be silent. It's not killing me to let somebody else have their enjoyment.
I know one time, this tattoo artist that I got most of my work from, the last time she was doing work on me, really went very right wing, propaganda, was saying a bunch of stuff that I was like, oh no. And I was starting to have a conversation, and I'm like, you just got to stay silent. This person is putting permanent ink on your shoulder. You just be quiet.
Shut the fuck
And
up.
go, yeah. I wish you all the luck.
Be
But
quiet.
I haven't been back.
And that's when silence is it's silent audibly, but in your head it's very loud.
Yeah, very loud. I'm definitely not feeling silent. I'm screaming inside. Silence is always a negative response.
No.
We just
Is
discussed that
any
whole thing.
absolutes you can just scrap.
Everyone experiences silence the same way.
No,
No.
absolutely not.
Silence is weakness.
Nope.
All right. If either of you want to elaborate on your nose, that would be much better for an audio podcast than nope.
It often takes great strength to be silent.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I think
Just like you're in an argument with somebody, it keeps going on and on and on and on. Finally, somebody's got to shut the fuck up and end it. Be
There's
done.
so many times that I really think about taking some time for like a week to be silent.
Yeah.
I mean, and also, as I shared with you guys earlier, like I'm struggling with my singing voice, and which also is my speaking voice. There's something going on with my support. Like I'm not giving my voice the proper support it needs to rest. So I've often thought of, what would it look like if I went on some type of vocal rest? It would almost be impossible for me to do that with my job. I would have to take time off from my job, and I don't really want to do that. So, but if I were to, how long would that be, and what would that look like? That would be really, really hard for me to be silent.
It would?
Oh my God, yeah. I love talking. I love seeing people. I mean, I do need my silence and my alone time, but like when, the day, I just think about the days that I were like when I had COVID and I was, locked in my room for days, and after like 3 or 4 days, I go outside and I'm like, wow, the world still exists. Like I'm in my car, it just.
I can easily go days without talking to anybody.
Yeah, I like.
But I mean, that's
people.
part of your coping is going
Absolutely
nonverbal.
Yeah. I can easily, days will just fly by. And I'm like,
I can live in the days of silence, but then it's when someone calls me and then I'm on the phone with them that every sense in my body perks up like a fucking daisy. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so nice to like be heard, hear somebody, laugh, hear about what's going on in the world, talk to them. Like I sometimes if a friend calls and I don't feel like picking up, but then I do, I'm always better after that conversation.
I have to remind myself of that sometimes, and I don't like to have to remind myself of that sometimes, but it's true.
So silence is good, but then there's silence and isolation. So there's a fine line.
I also think we would be remiss in ignoring the fact that it's also true that silence can be a weakness. Like we don't speak up out of fear. That
yes,
we find our opinion doesn't. We think that our opinion doesn't matter, and so that we don't share what we think. We're afraid to contribute. We have shame in what our opinion is. I mean, that's also part of it. It can be very detrimental to someone's progress or someone obviously finding their voice.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge thing in the feminist movement today.
Right.
That whole like women really trying to learn how to find their voice today, and trying to like, and it's, I mean, it's not limited to women. There are plenty of people that are like this.
But like they're also getting shamed for why did you stay silent? If this happened to you, why didn't you stay silent?
Right.
As if just speaking up after being assaulted.
That's why most people don't speak up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Especially after a certain amount of time. We didn't say anything because I fucking was paralyzed.
Yeah.
You fucking live it and tell me how to fucking let the world know immediately that I was just, well, I'll curb my language, but.
Oh God, I can't stop eating this fruit.
Since when?
Since right now.
Oh.
Don't hold back, grade.
He's going PG.
Grade.
Well, I don't want to be vulgar about it now, do I?
No, but But it's true. I mean, silence has both very, very.
Lacking for 30 years, I hadn't thought about that. Don't make fun of me over here, Grandma Winston.
You just tossed your hair, and I thought it was really cute, and he hasn't even seen Wicked.
Grandma Winston.
Yeah,
she was like, I like to think that for 30 years.
I thought it was Grandma Aloysius. I thought that was
Grandma Aloysius. Aloysius Snodgrass. Ebenezer Snodgrass. Why do you hate that name?
I don't hate that name.
Aloysius?
Oh, it's just overused at this point.
It's overused.
Yeah, we've been talking about Aloysius for a couple of years now. It was funny the first couple times.
It's not a real
but
name either.
It
is. Saint Aloysius? It's a very confusing word when you look at it. At the first couple of times I've seen it, I wanted to say Aloysius.
Who is the saint of silence?
Is there a saint of silence?
Yeah,
Simon
absolutely.
and Garfunkel.
No, they're the sounds of silence.
Oh, right.
Yeah. No, it's easy to confuse. But like everything, it's never just one thing. You know, silence can be a very powerful tool. It can be a tool that we use in art for both humor and drama, but it also can be like a real sign of awful trauma, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't really think that we would go.
Go there.
Saint Catherine.
Where-
Saint Catherine Labore is the saint of silence.
St. Catherine
Saint Catherine Labore.
Labore. How many saints are there?
A lot.
How do you get sainthood?
Go
Asks
on
the Jew.
Google that.
www.askthejew.com.
www. Becoming a saint in the world. So
It's
this,
just like you can buy somebody a piece of Scotland. You can buy.
I can make you a lord.
Yeah. yes.
Like I adopted
Oh.
you a
Little
shark.
Lord Fartleroy.
Okay, you have to. Here's what Google's. There's the AI overview
oh
of how to
God,
become a
AI.
saint in the Roman Catholic Church.
Uh-huh.
Because apparently you can't be Jewish or Christian.
No,
And
You have
can't
to.
be.
you have to be
a
like
non-
sacrificed too. You have to have like a violent death or something.
Well, listen.
All
You have
right.
to lead a virtuous life.
Thank you,
You have to be recognized as a servant of God.
thank you.
You have to perform a miracle.
Oh right, there has to be a miracle.
Well,
You have to be
puffs,
beatified.
Right.
Deified,
Beatified.
beatified,
Beatified. The church proclaims that.
beatified.
Oh, beatified.
Yeah,
Oh.
the beatified. It
Like
was
just
in
the bee.
it was in
Thank you.
Judas Iscariot.
Thank
That's
you
the
for
other
clarifying that. The church proclaims that the person is in heaven and can plead to God on behalf of others. Oh, you have to be dead.
news. Yeah, you definitely have to be dead. You can't be. There's no living saints. I don't think.
Oh, I don't know why I thought like you could just like go to the Vatican
And say, hey,
I'd
Pope,
like to get my sainthood, please.
here's my resume.
You're like, one problem, you're still living. Here's my resume.
I've been giving food to the poor for at least 2 years straight.
You have to be canonized. The church formally declares a person a saint and worthy of public veneration. Their name is added to the canon catalog of saints.
Nice.
Where's that? I'd like to see that.
So where was Carol Lobotomy's? What was her miracle? I'm sorry. What was her name? I forgot.
Christina Louboutin.
La Bouton. What was her miracle? What? Shake your head at me.
She's known as a saint of silence and confidence. Saint Catherine Labore. Lobotomy.
Katie.
Katie was an ordinary person who had a deep trust in God and the Virgin Mary. She was born on a farm and helped run the household. She had a calm and gentle apparition of the Virgin Mary, which was meant to bring people closer to the Immaculate Conception. She loved riding horses and
Sounds like a dating profile.
has done fellatio,
What?
straight fucking, and some minor bestiality. I don't want to.
Why would you put that on
Added
your?
that bit.
That's her bio, not mine.
Wait. Is that her miracle?
Oh no.
What was her miracle?
Oh, sorry. St. Catherine created the spread for sandwiches that we now know as Miracle Whip.
Oh,
So
no one uses miracle
That's
whip.
not
We're all-
from a
we're all
sandwich.
Hellmans.
it's a silent
Miracle.
Well, you should be Dukes, but
Yeah.
whatever.
What was her miracle?
That's it. She had an apparition. Mary told her just to be chill. She helped people chill out. I don't know. There's no miracle.
She didn't have a tongue, so she couldn't speak. So she was called the Saint of Silence.
Her silence.
Did she not have a tongue?
This is from the heraldofthegospel.com. Only after her death were the veils of this nun's heroic humility lifted. Her silence kept her great mission of seer and messenger of the... I don't like any of this.
Let's not make fun of AI
We need
again
to-
because
This is
this website
so
sucks.
inappropriate.
We need a miracle to decipher it. Anyways,
Well, of course we went there. The Saint of Silence.
who would have thought that we would have ended up with saints here at the end of silence?
But she was a seer. S-E-E-R.
Yeah, no,
It's like
no,
in Castlevania,
not
there's
a seer.
There's a seer, but so she has magical powers, and seers were believed to have
See the future?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So they would be what we would call like a light transmedium who would be able to kind of connect to the paranormal. Yes, we would consider them like now. That would be called a light transmedium.
Yeah,
which
no,
is
I
what
would never put all those words together.
Well, that was what Lorraine Warren was.
That's right. Of the famous Warrens of Connecticut.
Don't you dare disparage
Annabelle.
No,
don't despair those
She's
con
fine.
people.
You just gotta go see her once, and then you're in.
You can't go to the museum; it's closed.
I saw Lorraine Warren speak at UConn.
I know
when
you
I
did.
was.
I'm jealous. I wish I could have met her.
It was 45 years ago.
Well, I think that's it. You guys want to add anything else to our silence thing? We already did our silence gag, so we're not going to end with silence. That would be silly, right?
Yeah.
Does anybody know The Unbearable Lightness of Being?
Yes.
What is that?
The dictionary of
movie.
misunderstood. The book. Do you know the book?
No, I just saw the movie.
The Dictionary of Misunderstood Words is probably the most heartbreaking part of a book I've ever read.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This silence makes me think of this because there's no connect. I don't know. Anyway, read the book. We can talk about it.
I have to re-see that movie because I saw it as a teenager.
It's pretty. It's
and I never.
The story's just amazing. I love the.
Did not get it.
Called the dictionary. What's the Dictionary of Misunderstood Words? And I don't know. It's just heartbreaking.
All right. Well, now you all have homework. Something to do. Thank you for listening. And we will be back, depending, hopefully soon. I haven't asked anybody's schedules. Or
We don't know
like
what's
that.
going on.
We don't.
It's a new year. Happy New Year to everybody. It's our second episode
Happy
back.
New Year.
And thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
On Broadway.
That's our new one. I was hoping we were going to do a new thing where you just sing one line from something.
No farting noises
Attend
anymore.
the tail.
On
That's it. So we have a cold open and then a
Fast close.
A coda fat.
A hot close.
A coda close.
Matt, you better turn this thing off
Close it
soon.
with another one, Claire. Come on, try it.
Shit.
There we go. Well, that's our episode on silence. It took a lot of interesting turns. I was a little skeptical when we decided to do silence, and I was wondering where it would go, and I was pretty surprised at how the discussion turned out. So I hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to be back with Claire and Grady. So thanks for listening, and tune in next week for another interesting episode. We'll see. I'm not going to share what the topic is because I don't know what it is. Thank you for listening to the Last Will Podcast. If you like what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe. You can find us on Instagram at the Last Will Podcast. And if you like what you heard, tell a friend. Share it with someone. Or don't. It's all right. But rate, review, and subscribe. That would really help us out. That helps us out with the algorithm. Anyways, till next time, onward, forward.